Hello there, and welcome to the CP7 podcast. My name's Parm.
And I'm Andy.
And together, we are Chrono Passion 7. Hello, and welcome back to your favourite watch-related podcast. We are the Big 7, CP7, Chrono Passion 7, and there's been some big changes this year in our collecting habits. But before we get into that, we'll do a quick wristwatch check. Andy, what have you got on your wrist then?
So today, in keeping with our upcoming theme, I'm wearing my newly acquired, or new to me, let's say, the Zenith DeFi, which is the A3642, and I'm loving it, yeah. We'll get into why a little bit later, but it's got a beautiful champagne dial. I think it came a bit later, so the original DeFi was released in 69. I think the champagne dials came a little later, like I think like 72, 73 approximately is the age of this watch. So I think true, is it vintage? Is it neo-vintage? I'm not sure. I think more closer to neo-vintage than like, it's definitely not antique like some of the other pieces I've had. And it's definitely robust, so we'll get into that a bit later. But that's what's on my wrist. Over to you, Parm. What are you rocking today?
Well, before we carry on, I just want to let everyone know that this is an unplugged show, no edit, nothing. It's just going to be us raw and ready. So what I'm wearing today is my Seiko Paddy diver watch. I'm off on a bit of a journey tomorrow and I'm going to need a rugged watch. So I've got my Seiko Prospex Paddy certified automatic diver on. It's got the blue dial, Pepsi bezel, cushion case, or the turtle case as Seiko fans like to call it. 42mm, a real rugged watch. I've got it on an Uncle Seiko Japanese tattoo rubber strap. So it looks the part. It looks solid as a rock. And I'm hoping it can take the pace of my trip. So, awesome. Andy, what are we talking about today then?
Well, it's been a while since it's just been us two, especially in the world of behind the scenes. So at the time of recording this, last week we did, 4 interviews with 4 guests. So yeah, we've been very busy. So for us, it's felt a while since we've connected, and there's been quite a few changes, let's say, within our collection. Some major changes, actually. Some which you maybe expect. Maybe I'm more of a predictable because I'm always swapping and changing. I'm kind of famous for that. But it's not something you'd expect from Parm. So I think let's get into it. And I think it'd be great to start with Parm's recent journey. So over to you. What's been going on? I think a lot, right?
A lot has been going on. But I think before we go into the big changes, you need to find out what the inspiration was. So in December, I bought a Cartier Pasha. I don't know what happened. Once I got that watch, it just turned my collecting habits on their head. It honestly, just looking at it, it had a gear shade dial, the date at 4 o'clock, Vendome lugs, a very round case, a rotating one directional bezel, a Cartier factory grille, and yeah, I don't know, there's something about this watch, it just completely turned everything around. It has an automatic movement, Cartier caliber 191, which is actually based on a Girard-Perregaux 3100 movement, but the detailing on the rotor, the double C Cartier detailing all over it, just makes it a spectacle to look at. And I think once I saw that, it made me look at my collection and think, gosh, it's so beautiful. I need to add equally different looking watches rather than having quite a samey kind of look. So I had a bit of a Rolex cull. So I started off with 5 Rolex pieces and I've now ended up with 2. But I've upgraded and I've moved things around in certain places. The Cartier Pasha has got a lot to answer for. And like I said, it's such a beautiful watch.
It's really interesting how one watch, just one new watch purchase, made you instantly appreciated that watch. Clearly, it's just, I know how much of a special piece it is to you as well. As offline, we speak about it a lot, right? Outside of the show, of course. But how did that echo into you looking at some of the Rolexes you had and made you think, do I really need them? Could I have something a bit more a bit more special, I would say. What made something click inside to take action and change those?
Well, I think the main thing was I could wear it anywhere I wanted, and I didn't have to worry, didn't have to look over my shoulder, didn't have to cover my, pull my cuff down to cover my wrist.
Okay.
I think that was probably the biggest factor.
So the fact
Because
you
I
can
do
actually
love,
enjoy it, yeah.
yeah, and I missed the watches I moved on. I probably wouldn't get those again, but I just thought I've had my time with those.
Okay.
Time for something else. So time for something that looks different, but also you feel a lot safer wearing. I mean, London is not a war zone. You're not going to walk out the street and someone's going to rip your watch off your wrist. There's a risk, like any big city. The reputation it has here, you do have to kind of be, rightly or wrongly, that reputation. You have to be a bit careful. And I think it was a case of, if you want to enjoy your watches, you have to maybe, you can love them, but then you don't have to worry about wearing them.
I think there's a theme here, including some of my changes, which I'll tap into later. But yeah, I think being able to actually wear and enjoy your watches is really important, and not to feel like, even if, like, it'd be some days you could walk around central London with your watch fully on display and nothing will happen. Maybe 9 times out of 10, it's just that one time, and it's that, for us people, watch people, we're always looking over our shoulder a little bit. Here in Barcelona as well, we have the same issues. You've got to be very careful. So if you can't enjoy your watches and you're only wearing it around the house or putting it in a jacket until you get to a location, it kind of kills the whole point, right, to it. So if you can have something where you can enjoy just as much as those, it makes sense. Yeah,
I still kept the 2 most meaningful pieces to me. They all meant a lot. It's just, I'm not going to move on those 2 that I kept, which we'll talk about in a bit. It's a brand I still love. I probably will go back into it in a different way, maybe more in a neo-vintage way rather than a modern. Probably pricing dictates that as well. Because the thing is, with me, I have this rule that once I've moved a watch on, I'll never buy it again. And I've been pretty good so far with that. Yeah, let's see if I can continue to be that way.
So I think the burning question is, which are the new pieces?
Oof, where do I start? Okay, so what I did was I moved on my Explorer 2 216570 polar dial, and I ended up getting a watch which will surprise many of you, and it was a Chopard Mille Miglia with an 18 karat gold case, a silvered engine turned dial. It's almost a panda dial because the 3 registers do have black circles around them for legibility and to give it that panda look. So inadvertently, I got a panda watch thrown in as well, and I've put it on a really nice ostrich skin green strap. It's just something completely different, a chronograph for a GMT. There's a 1960s vibe about that watch. Mille Miglia, the famous Italian race for 1,000 miles. That's what it means in Italian. And nowadays, it used to be a proper car race. Now it's just for classic and vintage cars since 1977. And they still do the 1,000 miles in it. And it's a proper endurance race, but it just gives that cool 60s vibe to it. That's what I liked about it. It takes me away, because it's not like I'm looking at a watch saying, "Oh, I really like this watch," and I'm glad I've got it and I did well to get it. This takes me away to another place. It takes me almost to the 50s and 60s. And the engine turned dial, the silvered engine turned dial, the photos do not do it justice, because when I first saw it in the photos, I was kind of like, I like that. And the Mille Miglia is a watch I've had my eye on for a while, because a very good friend of mine who's not a watch nut but likes his watches, he knows his watches, big Langer fan, he has one. And ever since I saw his, I always thought, could I get one day? You never know. I can see myself. Then I thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to make the change. It was a shame to get rid of the Explorer 2 because it's such a cool watch, but I think this makes me more... It gives me a warm and fuzzy feeling inside more than the Polar Dial did. I took that Polar Dial watch away a couple of times, went to New York with me, went to another trip I went to as well. I can't remember which one. But I'm going to make new memories with this new watch. It's just something very unlike me to do, But I think, again, the Pasha just made me think, look at things differently. Reframe your watch lens.
Yeah, it was very steel sport centric, I would say, your collection in general for a period of time. I think now it's just getting a bit more... It's almost like the maturity in your journey in the exposure to more watches, around not just the industry, but going to watch meet, seeing other people's watches. And yeah, the more you handle different pieces, the more you see different pieces, you get inspired, right? And you think about the watches you have and do I have enough variation? And I think that was maybe the sticking point for you. It's like, is it a bit too heavy in one area? I like where it's gone. I think you made a good move. Many people would say, no, what? An Explorer 2 for a Chopard? But
yeah, some people probably think I'm insane. But
it's
no,
solid
it's
18 karat gold.
I don't think...
as well. No, it's solid 18 karat gold as well, which I think's...
it's 18. I think that was another big selling point. It was it's a gold watch. Yeah, it's a nice gold watch. So that also adds to it kind of beats stainless steel, doesn't it? But I think it's not so much. You kind of do feel when you have too much of one brand, you kind of think, I feel a bit trapped in this brand. So you kind of release yourself from it. Again, the thing is, I don't like this maturity thing. I think if you hate the watch, then that's okay. You may have in your mind matured, but it's just a case of right. I can get this for this. It's time to move this on to get that.
Yeah.
Rather than I dislike where I was. Now I want to be. But you can get heavy in one brand. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not that you dislike that.
Yeah,
it's just a case of I can't afford to add to it. If I could have kept those
and
kept
added.
That.
Yeah,
and added it, I would have done it in a heartbeat.
I think
but
many of
that's
us, we'd all agree with
the
that
rub.
if we could. I'd have the best collection in the world in that case.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I think you're right with that. It's not so much like I'm matured and now I like different brand. It's not quite that.
Now I'm a watch guy.
But it's kind of just like when you do get more exposure, you do start to consider other things, and new exposure within your own personal collection as well made you think different as well. So it's kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah.
It gets some funny looks from people. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people kind of think, why did you do that? But then, hey, it's my watch, my collection, my money.
Yeah, 100%.
So what about yourself? Are we going through all of mine, or are we going to...
No, we can bounce if you like, You want to go?
Yeah,
want to bounce it?
Yeah, I'm tired of talking.
Okay, so for me, where do I start? So 2 have recently come into the collection. I'll go with the DeFi, so I'll go with the wristwatch check. So similar to Parm, a watch needed to go for this, and it's also because another new watch came into the collection, which I'll tap into a little bit later. But really, the St. Moritz, I loved that watch. I wore it almost all the time, and I'm even surprised at myself for letting it go. But now I have the DeFi instead. I don't regret it at all, and I think I was just having that moment of loving that 80s kind of nostalgia vibe. I was binge watching Miami Vice, so it will fit in with everything I was enjoying.
Everything was Miami Vice inspired.
Yeah, a little bit in that period of time, including the Omega Cuff watch. But something inside, I just felt I need one sturdy watch, and I need to stay true to myself. I love modern watches. It was just... this particular DeFi was at such a good price, and I'm from a good friend as well. It just made sense. So also was a bit of an opportunity with selling the St. Moritz, but I could sell it without losing any money, basically. And I was able to buy the DeFi and actually free up a little cash flow as well, which was great. And I didn't feel like I was downgrading. It's just that I bought well, so I bought at a good price. I managed to release a bit of cash as well, whilst having something. This is where it loops back to what you were saying a moment ago, Parm, was I felt like I had something I could wear without being so worried about it. As the St. Moritz was quite flashy, like maybe unknown, but it's still a 2-tone watch It had diamonds in the dial. It did have bling factor. I remember showing the.
It almost attracted the crowd you were trying to avoid bumping into.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember showing the head of Ukraine red bar when he was over in Barcelona. I showed him the watch, and he was like, "This is like a proper mafia mob guys kind of watch, like a bit of a gangster watch." Oh, really? But I guess it's just a bit flashy, and I liked it a lot. But I felt like I just needed a solid, automatic, daily. What I don't stress about. Like this DeFi is in really good condition. As in terms of a watch what's really been loved and worn, but it's not been polished or anything like that. The crystal's quite scratched up, and I'd never change it because it's the original crystal, which is a nightmare to find. The replacement, it fits the shape of a watch wall. And for me, it just fits the vintage aesthetic of what this watch is. What's special about it as well, I'll mess this up, and there's no editing, but it's known as the Coffre 4. Which means that's in French. My French we know is terrible. It basically means safe vault.
Coffre 4?
434. Yeah, it's something like Coffre 4. I don't know. It's really intense French.
It'll be in the show notes. It'll be in the show notes, which you can find at www.chronopassion7, as in the number 7.com.
There we go. But it means bank vault or safe. Why is that? It's because the movement is suspended within the case. So it's quite interesting the way they did it. So the caliber inside this is the 2552, and it's actually suspended with like a rubber shock absorber within the whole case. Back then, that was like pretty solid innovation in shock-proof protection. So when Zenith were engineering this watch, the whole aspect and design of it was to be a solid daily sports watch, which was really, really tough. And that just hit my criteria as well. I always felt I've had delicate kind of watches, and it's just nice to have that one watch which I know can take a whack and it's solid. I don't have to worry about it. And I love the original gay phrase as well, with the little gaps in the bracelet. It just keeps your wrist cool, and with spring fast approaching in Barcelona and everywhere else, and summer be on the horizon soon, it just felt like the perfect watch. And it's just got this beautiful golden champagne aged hue to the dial, which I love. And Zenith holds a special place. After our factory visit, going back a few years ago now, I always wanted a Zenith again in the collection. And I think the DeFi is a bit of a misunderstood watch, but I'd encourage you to try one on, because on the wrist they feel great. Their diameter is like 37mm, lug to lug around 44mm. Bit of a thick beast at 13.6mm, but it's a sports watch, right? It's supposed to be a bit of a beast. But it does wear surprisingly flat on the wrist. And yeah, that's it really. I just wanted something I felt I could wear and not worry about, something not fussy anymore. I was kind of wanted to... I had this gold phase, and I just felt I needed to dial it back and be a bit more chilled out, but cool. And yeah, the DeFi, I absolutely love it. I think I don't miss the Chopard St. Moritz at all, which, yeah, I never thought I'd heard myself saying that, but I don't. When I look at the DeFi, I'm like, yeah, you made the right choice. And it fits me for that more daily kind of action watch, which I desperately needed. I know it's solid, even though it's vintage, which is important to me. So yeah, ticks all the boxes. Would I have a revival? Yes, I would happily have a revival as well.
Yeah, I nearly got a revival. The red dial,
yeah.
Really like that one. I really do like the DeFi, full stop. Yeah. But the revival is, and it's a more modern watch. I did like it. But you touched on something there with bashing the watch around a bit. Funny you've gone to stainless steel sports. But I do... One thing I miss about something like an Explorer 2 is you do not have to worry about damaging that watch. Because I'll give you an example. I was out with some friends in London at a watch meet. We went for a few drinks, walking home at night down Oxford Street in the evening, getting the underground home. then I put my hand in my pocket and I felt this pinprick into my finger. What had happened is one of the screws had come out of the bracelet. It had just, this has nothing to do with the watch, it just must have come loose. And it fell off my wrist and hit the deck. It fell on the concrete. And my friends all turned around and were like, oh my God, is your watch okay? And then deep down I was thinking, it's an Explorer, it doesn't matter. It's a Rolex, it's a modern Rolex, nothing's going to damage. Picked it up, not a scratch on it, nothing on it. Went home, got some Loctite, put the screw back in, and it was fine. Good as gold, good as new. And then when I moved this on, the courier that came to pick up the watch from me sort of got the box in his hand, and then he dropped the box and it bounced off my driveway at home. And it's like, oh no. And then it was just like, it was padded and everything. The box was, it was secure enough. It was safe enough. But I thought that watch took 2 hits on the deck and nothing. It passed all the tests and checks.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with the watch. And I think that's one thing when you get like an 18 karat gold Mille Miglia near vintage from 1999, coincidentally my Cartier Pacha's 1998, so I'm liking the near vintage stuff. I think it's just enough solidity in that without having to worry about it too much with the vintage aspect to it. But what I mean is that you don't have to worry about anything with a stainless steel sports Rolex.
Yeah, there's a beauty to that. And that, like, I honestly believe this DeFi has the same, due to how it was constructed, like the movement's just levitating basically inside the watch with a huge rubber ring around it, of sorts, putting it in basic terms, which just absorbs all the shock. And I can tell it's had its fair share of knocks on the crystal, etc. And it's fine. It feels solid for its age. I don't really worry about it. Like, would I freak out if I dropped it on the floor? Yes, like any watch you would. But out of any watch I own,
but then
I'll be honest, this is the only watch in my collection what would survive any kind of small fall or knock. Every other watch would be a broken balance staff or beyond. So, yeah, there is a delicacy to... the good thing about your watches, Parm, like going Neo, they have shock resistance and things like this. Even like in the Chopard, you're safe. As if you go like to my era of vintage, which I have like 50s, then what shock resistance? It's not there in some of the pieces.
Yeah, it's true, but I think 18 karat gold is still can't. It's
soft.
Gold is a soft metal,
yeah.
But the mechanism, the
mechanics
movement, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they should be okay. They won't be as good as a modern sports watch, but they'll take a hit a little bit better than something of the 50s. Yeah, and it's an ETA movement, so again, it's solid. It's a solid movement in there. Yeah, there's a lot to this. It's a really quick one. I'll say this fast. So my JLC hit the deck. Not due to my fault. The spring bar snapped inside just the spring bar snapped on the top where it was connected at the top between the lugs. It just happened randomly. I was literally leaving my apartment, went to turn the bathroom light off, and it just flew off my wrist and hit the floor. And funny enough, we're talking about gold. The damage on the case is, all things considered, is extremely minimal. It's like you wouldn't really notice. It's not spoilt the watch, really. Like, it was pristine. Now it's not, but it's not horrendously bad. But just from that, the balance staff broke, and one of the rubies on the main plate broke as well. So, yeah, the can't take a very good fall. Unfortunately. Now it's right as rain. It's fixed. It's working well. It's back in my possession. But, yeah, there's a tip. If you're buying any kind of vintage, check your spring bars, change them. Even if they feel good, put brand new ones in. Don't risk it.
Yeah, sounds like good advice. And I think always check the screws in your bracelet as well.
Yeah.
Which is something you could learn from my Explorer 2.
Yeah.
Make sure they're not loose.
Yeah.
But, it's a tough one. I miss having that, so almost security that you know that something's going to... Okay, actually, the funny thing is the security, if someone recognises it, the wrong person recognises it, they may have it off your wrist.
You've traded off,
but then the other
different aspects of security.
The security of toughness is always going to be there.
Yeah.
But then now, so I did trade the next watch I got. I traded 2 watches for it, and that was in January this year. I did a test wearing my Batman, my GMT Master 2 BLNR, for a whole week, and I kind of bonded with it, thinking, can I bond with it? Because I don't wear it, and I don't, again, the safety thing. It may all be in my head, or it may be true, but I just think you have to be safe. You can wear it covered up, and that's sensible, but, it's still a risk because it's a very recognisable watch. So the GMT Master 2, I did think in the end, look, I need to move it on now because I'm not wearing it. And then I thought, okay, what else? Again, because the Pasha had just totally thrown me a curveball, I thought, right, is there anything else in my collection that can go? Now, there's one watch which I absolutely loved the aesthetic of, and it was the Submariner Bluesy. Beautiful watch, but very loud, very recognisable, everyone knows it. So that I decided to move on again as well. So what I moved it on towards was almost a rite of passage in the watch collecting sphere. So I thought, we did our show on the Trinity, and Andy and I both got obsessed with Trinity watches. And I found the Trinity watch for me, which was the Patek Philippe Calatrava 5296R 001 Scientific. Now, that's a sector dial watch. It's called the Scientific because it's a sector dial. You can get the 5296R without the sector dial, which I find a bit plain and a bit boring. It's got a date window at 3, but I think that takes away from the aesthetic. But on this sector dial, it looks absolutely amazing. It's such an interesting looking watch. Sector dials, I've had my own a couple, JLC, Longines, but hey, you're talking Patek Philippe, you're talking the pinnacle. When it's your time, it's your time. And I thought, right, okay, I can move out of this Rolex phase and I can move into this Patek phase. And I think another thing that was bugging me was there was a time when, you think, oh, I've got my first Rolex, or I've bought a Rolex, singular. When you end up with 5, that kind of gets taken away a bit. So like now I've got my Patek Philippe. It's going to stay at 1 in my collection. It's not going to become 5. Well, I can't afford 5 for starters, but it almost keeps it real and sexy, because when you've got a Patek Philippe, that means you've aspired to own it. It doesn't mean it's just another thing that's thrown into your watch box. Yeah, so it's rose gold with this unbelievable 2-tone dial. And the thing is, it's based on the original 96, the first Calatrava, when they had a sector dial. And this is a much bigger watch. Lug to lug's about 45. It's a 38mm solid rose gold case featuring a polished bezel. But it's a Patek. It's my Patek. And I bought a nice grey suede Molcan strap for it as well, just to play off the grey 2-tone in the dials, minute and hour tracks. It is unbelievable. And then it's got an open case back. You flip it around and you get to see the Caliber 324 SC, which features a 21 karat gold rotor. It's not a micro rotor, it's a full size rotor, but oh my God, it is just unbelievable. It's got the Patek seal, basically Patek marking their own homework, saying this is really good. But it does have I think the tolerance they say of, if you believe Patek, -1 to +2 seconds per day. But if you believe others, it's -3 to +2 seconds a day. Again, that depends on who you want to believe. But since 2009, the Patek seal has been in the Patek Philippe calibers. Before it was the Geneva seal, and this is a Patek one. But yeah, it was, like I say, a rite of passage, a monumental time. I got my Patek Philippe, not my 15 Patek Philippes which just sit in a box and I don't wear them. This is the one that I covet, and this is the one that I'm going to keep.
Beautiful. What was it about that? Because with those 2 trades, like the 2 watches which you traded, would have opened the door to a few different options from Patek, right? Within the Calatrava range. Was it just finding the right deal and the right aesthetic? Like, was there any other Calatravas which you were interested, or did you already know it was that one, or was it because you saw that one and thought, no, I think this is right. The price is right. The deal's right for if I can do the deal with these two watches. And it was that, or was it, no, my heart's set on that particular watch.
Well, I've always wanted a 5196G, which is a white gold.
Yeah.
5196 with the small seconds. But I just didn't think that was interesting enough. It's the sector dial that makes it interesting. It makes it look complicated without being complicated, because it's got a dial complication rather than a mechanical complication. It just, made my heart sing seeing that. It was the right deal, like you say. It was the right price, the right deal. I could have got another one, but to me, this was something just shouts out at you. Like I said, sector dials, I think, have always sort of really cool. And to have a Patek Philippe doesn't get cooler for me.
Yeah, that's an epic milestone, a great achievement.
Thank you.
It doesn't get much better. Yeah.
So talking about Trinity watches, I believe you've also been indulging in the dancing with the Holy Trinity.
We know the Chopard St. Moritz went, and then the beloved Omega cuff watch also went. So it's a bit of a story behind that. I've got to be honest. I bought the Omega cuff watch for a very, very good price, a really good price, and it was solid 18 karat gold, and that's the case, that's the bracelet, and it had quite a serious weight in gold to it for its size. And as many others will be aware, the gold boom came along, and I just saw an opportunity to open the door to something a bit more impressive. Not that, like, the Omega cuff watch was very special. It drew a lot of attention, and some people be like, why would you get rid of that? It's so unique. But for me, again, I was kind of a bit over my flashy gold era, and I was thinking, when can I actually wear this? Because when you're in a t-shirt or more casual wear around the city, you can't wear that watch. You can only really wear it under a shirt. It doesn't really look right you have to kind of dress for the watch, is the best way of putting that. It didn't go with everything, and it was very unique, very cool, but definitely a watch what you can't wear so free. I was realising I was wearing the St. Moritz a lot and not the cuff watch so often towards the end. So long story short, I was in a position where I could basically double my money. So I did that. I won't go into numbers, but I did well from that. And seeing Parm making his move to the Patek, and after doing the show as well, I just thought, I think I can get into a Trinity as well. And to be fair, the AP which I wanted was originally, it was the Philosophique with just one hand, which is a really cool, funky watch. I think that watch could get popular, but you don't buy watches for that. But I mean, if that's sailed, is a certain point where if it goes beyond a certain price, then the ship has sailed, as in terms of me buying it. It's not for value retention of, I don't buy it for that, but I like, maybe that's could be quite popular at one point, and if I get it now, I've got it. If I choose not to, it will pass, and maybe it goes crazy, maybe it doesn't, but if it goes crazy, then the ship sailed, right? But a watch came available within, local close contacts here, and it was an Audemars Piguet 5043 in platinum. And the 5043 is a very simple looking design, Bauhaus kind of aesthetic, minimalism to the dial, but there's a certain beauty to its simplicity and to the aesthetic of, like, it's just got these straight lugs. The size of the watch wears very, very well because it's 36mm lug to lug, which for my kind of wrist size, it just fits very well. Even though the watch is only 32mm, with the additional presence of the lugs, it just takes up more space on the wrist. It sits really well. And the most crazy thing is that it's only 5mm approximately in thickness. And the really cool thing is it has the legendary 2003 caliber, which was engineered with Audemars Piguet, Jaeger-LeCoultre, and also Vacheron Constantin, which is a pretty cool connection. That caliber's a serious caliber. ultra slim. It's only 1.64 millimeter. It was the king of thin for years before now where we are today, but it's still very, very thin. Even by today's standard, it is ridiculously slim. And the aesthetic from just wearing the 5043 on the wrist, how flat it is, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, that's what I went for. So I had the choice. I was weighing it up. Do I go for the Philosophique, or do I get a platinum AP? And a big aspect is it's platinum, and it's a platinum trinity, and it's like find another one. Like getting into a platinum AP is pretty serious and very rare in general. The price was right. It was in very good condition, so I went for it. I've nicknamed it the Diva because unfortunately the mainspring, it hadn't snapped, but where it hooks off in a barrel had come apart and it wasn't working quite correct. So I needed it. Long story short, I needed a new mainspring for it. It was covered under warranty, so got that fixed. Then it got magnetized, so I needed to sort it out a little bit again. But now it's running great, so I call it the Diva just because it's needed a little bit of love here and there. But now it's running at plus 8 seconds a day, which isn't too bad if you think Kosk is 6, so it's not far off for 50s caliber. Only a beat error of 0.2 milliseconds, so pretty much perfect. So it's running really, really well. And yeah, just having the Platinum Trinity for me is the ultimate kind of stealth wealth, which I love. Again, going to the security aspect of that as well. I can walk around the city. It's not fussy at all. Nobody has a clue. People who know and who appreciate the importance of what that is will love it. And the people who don't know are probably the people who you don't want to know. And you can just wear it and go under the radar. So yeah, and similar to Parm, I bought an Epic Stingray strap for it in this case, which is like his burgundy purple. And depending on how crazy I go with contrast edits in my Photoshops and stuff like this, it's actually quite a light burgundy colour. It's really, really nice in the flesh. But if I overdo the contrast or vibrance, then it might look a bit more purple than it actually is in some pictures. But I'll try and get the most natural shot for the show notes. But yeah, that's what I've gone to, and I've got no regrets. It's caused me some stress having to wait for it to be, wait for that mainspring to be ordered from AP and to arrive at the watchmakers and to be put into the watch. But it was all covered with the cert, under warranty, so no big issue. And yeah, now I'm in the phase of just enjoying it. And I mean, compared to the Amiga, it's a different league. And again, comparing to the St. Moritz, like it just looked like a toy in contrast to a Platinum AP. So like, okay, it doesn't make sense anymore. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Proud to be in the Trinity, and I like that it's got the links to JLC, and I like that it's got links to VC, because also my Calatrava, my Jaeger LeCoultre Calatrava links to VC as well. It has the K1002 caliber inside, which VC were using back then. So the watchmaker's watchmaker in true essence there as well. So I've got 2 watches, both of which link to, one links to Vacheron, the other one, and 2 link to JLC as well, which is pretty cool. I just need the Patek link, but I get that through Parm, so there we go.
There we go. The podcast has all 3.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Yeah, of course. A beautiful watch, platinum as well, giving that extra bit of pizzazz. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, we've done quite a bit of an overhaul of certain areas of our watch collections. Yeah, I still got like Cartiers, which I love, I have 3 now. I don't want to get too many. This is the thing. Don't fall into buying too much of one thing. I think 3 is enough. Because again, if you are going to get something, make sure it's very different from, it gives you that very different kind of experience. But yeah, I think that covers our new collecting. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know.
Mistakes?
Yeah, did we make a mistake? Did we do the right thing? Did we move up? Did we move down? What did we do? But in our opinions, obviously, we think it made us happy, and we think we went on the right path. But yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah, zero regret from my perspective.
Yeah,
and I've still I remember the thing that I liked about the Amiga was not many people it was kind of unique. Yeah. But the AP keeps that with it being platinum. I think he's less than 5 documented, so it makes it, something cool to talk about. Still makes it a bit special to me. Whilst being stealth, a lot more understated than the Omega, which I prefer. So yeah, I'm out of the Miami Vice phase.
Miami Vice is gone
until the movie comes out in 2027.
Shortly, yeah. So then it's back next year.
And Ebels for all.
Ebels, yeah, 1911s.
I'd just get one though. I wouldn't swap anything. I would get an Ebel actually.
I would. I'd get a 1911.
Yeah, the OG, right?
Yeah, the OG. Right, that is all we have time for today. It was a short show. This is a zero edit show as well, so pardon all the ums and ahs and the breaths and the stumbling over our own words. We thought we'd just give you a real and raw show for a change.
Yeah, absolutely. So please check out the show notes at www.chronopassion7.com, where you can see the watches we had and the watches which have come in to replace them. And I will do the classic sign-off. That is adios and hasta luego from Barcelona. And you will hear me on the next one.
And as Andy says farewell from Barcelona in Spain, you have been listening to Chrono Passion 7 on the CP7 podcast. And from London, it's Toodle Pip and laters. And we'll see you, and you'll hear us in the next one.